Why, hello there. If you don't already recognize my sultry voice, this is DJartt of the High Score 510 podcast. First of all, I would like to thank you for listening to our show. Second of all, I want to remind you with a shameless plug of our Patreon page. Join our growing community and help support an indie podcast. The perks of being a patron, you ask? Why, Jesus will bless you. So go check out patreon.com/highscore510. And for the price of a tall pumpkin spice latte, you can help DJartt get the newest choker from Claire. Wait, who wrote this? Who wrote this? Seriously. That's fucked up, man. This isn't a choker. It's real pearls, bitch. Regardless of which, we appreciate your support and hope you enjoy the show.
Hey, do you think like TikTok content creators is gonna become like an e-sport? Who can give scholarships to TikTok content creators and influencers to come to their school and like make content about their school?
Pedro, you want to answer that one?
No, because I don't.
Jared, I'm too old to answer that question. That's only a question that you feel like you're the rightful age to answer.
Yeah, you gotta ask some young people. You need to have more
that's
young
a question.
people.
That's a question for us. Yeah, that's a question for somebody younger than Nathan.
Because I have no idea what TikTok is.
Yeah, you say TikTok, and Pedro think you one of them clocks from the old cartoons that keep going with Woody Woodpecker and shit.
Oh, I thought he was talking about Tic Tacs.
Pedro thought he was triggered to the instructional video for his pacemaker.
Come on.
You hear that?
he thought that shit wasn't. Oh shit! Pacemaker battery dying. Shouldn't have used it to charge my phone.
Oh, you old niggas.
I'll record that.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, what is that noise? I didn't record. Jared, what is that noise?
You on one of them scooters?
It's this woman named Simone. She over here birthing children. Actually, it's a big ass mosquito.
Sound like you over there trying to play the world's worst harmonica.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody is crying in auto-tune. I don't know. No, what happened is the strap is blowing in the wind on the kayak, and so it's making a weird ass buzzing and humming sound.
You still out on the water?
No, not anymore. I'm on land driving with a fat ass kayak on my car. Got a late start to the day. The day was supposed to start at like 9 o'clock. We were supposed to be out on the water by like 10:30, 11. We didn't get on the water till like almost 1:30. And hold on, there we go. Getting off here. I'm stopping over here to get me a quick bite to eat before I drop Todd off. So here's what happened. We were supposed to go on to the McCovey Cove this morning. I had a dream, by the way. Oh shit, who's calling me? That better not be Dave. See, and decline. God damn it, Dave. Can y'all hear me still?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. So I get up and I'm like, hey man, Todd comes out to my mom's. We head out to Vallejo. We're running like 25 minutes late. We get out to Vallejo like at 9:28 or something like that, right? This motherfucker Dave, who said to come meet him, was still putting on socks and a shirt.
He's reminding me to order for you.
Yeah. Hold on. He good for something. He ordered me some In-N-Out. Tell him I want a number 2 mustard fried with jalapenos.
Number 2 mustard fried
and raw onions.
Mustard fried
with jalapenos.
He ordering shit the In-N-Out don't even have, dude.
Oh, I'm saying.
Man. Anyways,
mustard fried with jalapenos and red onions. Or raw onions.
Raw onions. So Dave.
Raw onions.
Oh my God, I did not know what raw onions are. Am I in a left turn lane? No, I'm not. Honking at me. Jesus. And anyways.
You got green light.
Oh shit, I do have green light. All right, so we get there, and this motherfucker had just got out of the shower. It's almost 9:30. Dave is not anywhere. The kayak he has, not on his truck. Fried. Oh my God. Fried.
You getting mustard and fries? Or mustard fries?
At In-N-Out, you can get something that's mustard fried, which means they put mustard on your burger when they put the buns down and fry it on there, or they fry it onto the patty or whatever.
Jared's trying to order a secret menu item from via Dave, which is not a good idea.
Yeah, that's my problem. Anywho, so we get there. Dave is not ready whatsoever. We texted last night and he's like, "Oh yeah, we can get the kayak, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Cool, we're gonna be able to get the kayaks." Dave said that. I was like, "Do I need to meet you at your friend's house where we can pick up a kayak, or should I meet you at your place?" He's like, "Come to my place." So I'm like, "Oh shit," because he said he was over there looking at kayaks, trying to figure out which one we could take, yada yada. I thought he was grabbing the kayak and just bringing it over to his place so that when I got there we could load it on. Wrong. Not only did he not have the kayak he was going to use set up, he's like, "I need y'all to help me set up my kayak," which ended up taking like literally an hour and 15 minutes for us to get the kayak he owned at his place.
You didn't think it was going to be faster? You don't remember when we went kayaking with Dave that one time, how long it took us to put kayaks back on his truck? Do you not remember that, Jay? It took us over 2 hours, dude. And it was
we thought we had it worked out. We thought like
it took 2 hours. I have not forgotten about that. It is like I still suffer PTSD from that. Like I'm worried about going somewhere with Dave and them having to pack things overly and over again in certain ways.
And then he had the audacity to say while we were putting the kayaks up that whole time that he did 3 kayaks by himself in an hour and a half.
He said he put 3 kayaks, stacked 3 different kayaks on his truck rack. It doesn't fit 3 kayaks, so he had to jury rig it.
And he said, I'm not lying, he said in the rain too. In the rain. For a week of rain.
This motherfucker apparently had put 3 kayaks up when it took us over an hour, 15 minutes just to do one. Okay? Wow. And you don't realize he has his kayaks all the way in like the back corner of his lot, which is like a good, like, you can fit 2 more houses on this backyard lot. It's like a deep lot. It goes like probably about 70 feet back from his house.
We wouldn't have been able to access him at all if we hadn't weeded all his.
Yeah, we would have been able to get him because if we hadn't weeded his backyard a month and a half ago. So we got the one kayak, put it on his truck. He's like, "All right, we got to go to my friend Steve's and get the kayak you guys are going to use." So we drive like 5-6 minutes to his friend Steve's, so it's 5 minutes away. We get there, and nothing was like laid out. It was tied into a rack with 25 other kayaks of different sizes, and like we had to reach in there and like pull it out amongst all this kayak clutter. So we go over there, we load the other kayak on. That one only took like 40 minutes because we were like, "Let's go, Dave. We gotta hurry up." And so we tie it on, we get it all laced up. But at this point, it's already past. What time was that? It was like 11:50.
Yep.
Basically, we leave Vallejo at 11:50. This motherfucker's like, "Oh, I haven't really got lunch, and I gotta get gas." This motherfucker he didn't get the other kayak. He didn't have gas in his goddamn car. He wasn't dressed when we got there. The motherfucker, it was like when Aaron said he'd be ready like in 20 minutes, and he's still putting on lotion 40 minutes later. Like it was like one of those moments. I was like, "Damn it, Dave." Anyway, so he stops and gets Taco Bell. Oh, by the way, fuck Taco Bell. Shout out sponsorship, but fuck y'all for discontinuing the Mexican pizza. That's just rude and racist.
It was rude that it was called Mexican pizza. That it needed to be discontinued years ago.
What's more rude that you call it Mexican pizza, or they was calling it a Mexican pizza?
That they were calling that what they called it was rude. I'm surprised they don't have like some Filipino grits.
There's a place in Surprise, Arizona that has a really good Mexican pizza. At a Mexican food restaurant.
You know, it's this place in the Castro got a very, very good little Nas X pizza too.
Come on.
It's like, I want that Nas X pie.
That Nas X pie. Got a little blood on it.
Come on, man.
It comes with pepperoni that has contacts on them. Yeah, so we leave Vallejo like basically 11:50 noon. Basically, we don't get on the road. We're not on the 80 till like a little bit after 12 now. So he had to get his food and gas. And then it took us about an hour to get from Vallejo into the city to where we needed to park. So here's the fun part. So we trying to like go to McCovey Cove, you know what I'm saying? We trying to be like we trying to tour a place full of tourists. Yeah. So we go And we're like, Todd's looking up places where we can lit in, where people say they lit in to go to McCovey Cove, blah, blah. The idea was that we were going to go meet Dave. He had the kayaks at his house. We were going to put the kayaks on and be out of there by like 10 o'clock, right? We're like, we get there at 9:30. It should take us about a half an hour to load up. But knowing Dave, we thought maybe like 10:30. We leave by 10:30. We could still get out and be out there by like 11:30. Between 11 and 11:30, we'd be on the water or be like paddling, right? And that will give us an hour and a half before the game. None of that happened. But then we get out to the city because we're like trying to figure out where to go. And Dave's like, I know this place. Did he say he know that place? Or he had looked up the place?
He was just looking around Google Street View.
He had looked around Google Street View and he's like, I found this place over here. We should go over here. And I was like, oh, I have no bearing and understanding where we're at relative to the stadium. So we go off on a place off Cesar Chavez and Illinois Street. Aaron, you know where Cesar Chavez and Illinois Street meet in San Francisco?
Yeah, it's like downtown.
Nah, nigga.
Wait, you talk? It's not close to McCovey Cove. I know that. Because
it's like 2.5 miles away.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, that's on your way towards Hunter's Point.
Yeah,
that's almost Hunter's Point. No, I know exactly where it is now. That's almost Hunter's Point because I used to have to take the Cesar Chavez and then the bus down there. Wait, so he let you way out down there?
I think we were closer to Candlestick than we were.
You were because you were just a couple of moves away from Candlestick because it goes from there. The next part is Bayview, and then Hunter's Point, and then Candlestick right there. It's all right there. Hunter's Point, Bayview, and Candlestick.
Yeah, so Dave had us down near Waterfront, and I guess it's Illinois Street. Some people who had like a furniture store was doing like a Sunday like little party or whatever, and we pull up and it had like in this little it looked like a parking lot, but it was still a public street, I guess, and it said no event parking, and it was like painted on like a piece of like plywood that had like been like bleached in the sun for like 10 years, right? And so we pull in. I'm like, man, are they gonna hate on us for parking in here? Dave pulls in, just starts chumming it up with people, whatever. We're like, Dave, is it cool for us to park here? Because he had gotten there like a minute or two before us. And he's like, it's painted on a wooden sign. That doesn't mean anything. So we're like, okay. So we're like, cool. And we just start unloading. These people like keep like walking by us and looking at us all awkward because they're like, are you guys with this event or what are you guys doing over here? And Dave's like, oh, I'm going to catch a ball because he brought these nets. And so he's like, we're going to get a ball in McCovey Cove. And it's like 1 o'clock at this point, by the way. Like,
what time did the game start? What time?
1 o'clock, bro. We were trying to get there like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours before the game for batting practice. The goal was get to the city, go to batting practice, maybe get a ball or two hitting over towards us, and then just like kick it for a few innings and then explore more along the waterfront. That doesn't happen. So we load up. Actually, it didn't take us that long to load. We got everything out. We got to the water in about half an hour versus the average hour and a half that takes Dave to make sure you pack everything safely. We get on the water. It's about 1:30 by the time we get on the water.
Started the second inning.
It was the start. Yeah, the second inning was already happening. We were at the little radios. And so we get over there. We get on the water. So there was like military ships we were like getting on the water by. It was like a little land bridge and military ships. And so we start paddling out. We look. And, man, we were probably the equivalent of 2.5 miles street wide.
You were over there by the old naval where they used to build the naval ships. And where
I think we were because there was a bunch of like naval shit over there and ships.
That used to be the old naval shipyard over there. Because it became a super fun spot. When I was working with Rec and Park, I had to work over there.
Yeah, so we had to paddle the better part of 3 miles across open water in the bay, which was like difficult and challenging, but not, I'm a beast, me and Todd, you handled it. It wasn't a problem. But at the same time, we got on the water at the start of the second inning. When do you think we got to McCovey Cove?
If you're going 3 hours, I'm assuming that you got there by like 7th inning.
You are close. We got there. We got
7-6.
there with like 1 out in the bottom of the 6th or 2 outs.
Yeah, I was like 7th or 6th inning. That's what I'm thinking. That's a long time.
So we got there and we're able to experience the last 3 innings, as in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. But we got out to McCovey Cove and that shit took. We got out to the McCovey Cove like it must have been 3 o'clock by the time we finally got out there. So it took us a little over almost an hour and a half to paddle all that way to get to where McCovey Cove was. Beautiful paddle for parts of it, but also challenging and like slow as fuck. Saw some big ass sea lions, and a couple seals. But yeah, then we got out there and then kicked it in McCovey Cove for 3 innings. Dave was like chumming it up with hella people, really, really, really awkwardly at times, but it was hilarious to watch. And yeah, man, watch the A's get a W, which was tight. And then we were gonna try and paddle back, but Dave said, let's just get off here and then take Muni.
Wait, with the kayaks?
No, he said, well, one of us will stay with the kayaks and 2 of us will take Muni back to where our cars were, near where our cars were. And we argued with Dave for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, what was he going to take, the T? Did Dave know what Muni to take? Was he going to take the T all the way down third? What was he going to do?
I have no idea. All I know is that it ended up, Todd and Dave ended up jogging back the 2.5 miles back to the car. and then brought the cars back to where we had gotten off the water. So yeah, you know, it more or less was. That's why I called you earlier, and I said this is not going to end well. I'm going to be late. I'm not going to be ready to go by 6. So because I was dealing with Dave, I got Dave Bell up again. Yeah, so Dave fucked up my day.
So quick question: did you catch any balls?
Hell no. There's definitely some rich ass motherfuckers on some like little mini yachts and like nice little boats that are like parking in McCovey Cove too. We're having like little, you know, like field trips on their boats and shit. That shit is bougie as fuck. There's some weird people out there and some cool people out there too. It's nice. Yeah, I recommend if you ever get a chance.
No, don't worry. You can no need to recommend it.
Hey, did y'all see when apparently Brandon sent that link of Vin Diesel saying that The Rock's acting wasn't good enough or too furious?
Did you see what he said? What he said today? Today he said, it came out earlier today, he said he felt like Paul Walker was talking to him and told him and sent him John Cena to be in this new movie because he was perfect. This man, Ving Rhames, is full of it, dude.
Vin Diesel has conned his way.
Oh, Vin Diesel, not Ving Rhames.
Yeah, Vin Diesel talking about The Rock is not a good actor, bro. How is that? Like that, we gotta examine that a little further. I feel like that's like Vin Diesel has never had more depth than, like, you know what I'm saying, the dimples on his face. He's not a deep person. His acting is not deep.
Where's Vin Diesel from?
He from Miami.
That was gonna be my guess.
Vin Diesel.
Oh wow, you ain't gonna believe where he was born in.
Oakland.
Alameda, California.
No! Where'd he grow up, though? Where'd he grow up?
With his twin brother, Paul.
Is he have a twin brother that's like a paternal or maternal?
Fraternal. Not maternal.
So they don't look alike. I wonder what his brother looked like. Do he look like an idiot the same?
It might be like Ashton Kutcher and his twin brother, but they look nothing alike.
So my question is, so Vin Diesel thinks The Rock doesn't do a good job acting, when The Rock's whole persona was derived off him acting. Like the fact that he is known as The Rock is a character, is a caricature and a character that, like, obviously the only reason why people would go with Dwayne Johnson is because the branding, the character that he has, the persona he's created, you know what I'm saying, like, would be contested by the WWE. But otherwise, like, that's his character. That's a caricature. And that's what, like, everyone identifies him as a character. Yet Vin Diesel over here talking about, man, you ain't good enough actor. You know what I'm saying? I need you to be able to. Like, he's like a broke Sylvester Stallone. He's like a slightly more, he has slightly more emotion than Sylvester Stallone. And I'm talking about, like, Sylvester Stallone after all the face surgeries where he can't actually move his face. Like,
Stallone was a better actor, though. Stallone was a better actor. Yeah. Stallone could act when he was younger.
Cry.
Yeah, I mean,
Toretto can get really mad really good with his car. Like, when he's mad based upon how he drives his car. Like, if the way you drive your car is telling me your emotional depth, that means you're not a very good actor.
Yeah.
No, I act well when I'm having road rage. I'm a different person, so I act well when I'm driving. So maybe that's Vin Diesel's his thing. It's just cute when he's in a vehicle, you know. It hides all the other
what's he gonna do?
Talent he doesn't have.
He's gonna be in the car every movie he in. We're gonna see
exactly.
Ving Rhames.
He goes a quarter mile at a time.
Ving Rhames gonna be in the car playing in the Heights. All of a sudden, he just pulled up in an SS or a Chevy Nova.
No, he does Dodge products, so he's a Mopar guy.
I'm gonna do all my acting from this car. He was only good in two things: Fast and the Furious, and in that first movie where his eyes would glow in the dark.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Was that the second one? That was the second one. The first one had a.
Well, it was was it Pitch Black was the original.
Pitch Black, yeah.
Pitch Black, yeah.
Yeah, and that was good because you could barely see him, so he didn't take no.
That was the better movie.
No. His best movie is when he played Groot.
Come on.
That's what you
How you
said,
gonna say somebody else can't act when your one line was just say "I am Groot"?
You know what was crazy? Somebody told me after Pitch Black came out. I remember me and Marshawn. They told me and Marshawn how good of an actor Ving Rhames was. So it's like, man, did you see his eyes?
This magic moment.
We're like, dude, come on, man.
Why you keep calling him Ving Rhames, bro?
Man, you know what? Because I miss my boy Ving Rhames. Because we were talking about grits earlier, and I missed him and Baby Boy when he was sitting there cooking grits butt naked.
Well, in news this week, should we do some news, I guess?
Yeah, go ahead and do some news.
Should we even do introductions?
No, we done enough introductions. Everybody know we all here. I'll do the introductions real quick. AG3, Captain, your friendly neighborhood Captain P-Funk, your friendly neighborhood trucker, and DJartt. The D is silent. Intros are done.
For a double dose of that tank.
There we go. Intros are done. Get us in the news.
Well, in news this week, let's see. Coca-Cola is in hot water. It's in some hot Dasani water after their customizable label promotion revealed that they were allowing historically racist phrases, but censoring marginalized people and movements slogans. They said that you could have White Lives Matter, but you could not put Black Lives Matter. You could also not put lesbian or transgender on there, but you could put I am a Nazi.
Could you write on there, I am not anti-gay, I am anti-LGBTQ? Hey, please play that soundbite after that, Jared, so I don't sound like a fool.
Those were not anti-gay remarks. Those are anti-LGBTQ remarks that I make because they are political terrorists. They are probably the closest things to the Ku Klux Klan in the modern political era.
He's like, I am Eric Porterfield. That's racist in itself. And it's not suicide. What is it when the parent kills the children?
Kidicide? I don't know. Fragicide?
Euthanasia.
Come on, dude. That's when you kill yourself. That's killing yourself, dude.
No, it's youth in Asia. That's what it is. That's a racist Asian joke, but I'm half Chinese, so shout out to my Asian brethren. Sponsorship.
I'm protesting this podcast after that racist statement. So Coca-Cola was only allowing Nazi-approved labeling for their custom-made bottles. Is one of those labels "Make America Great Again"?
I hope so.
I want to know who are the people that tried to put in all this shit to find it out, right? Because it wasn't someone that was actually going to buy Coca-Cola. Just someone that's sitting around and say, I ain't got nothing to do. I'm gonna see what works and what doesn't work. You got some college students, right? You know how, Jared, when you was in college, you say all you guys do is look at YouTube videos. Now college students do stupid shit like that. It's like, I'm gonna put in everything. I would have put in Pepsi is better and see if that worked.
Oh,
I would have put in clear Pepsi.
You should have just wrote clear Pepsi.
Built on stolen land or colonizer. I am a colonizer. What about that? You think they would have been okay with that?
I think Jared. I'm holding up a Coca-Cola bottle to the Zoom meeting right now, and I think it's kind of racist because they made Coke Zero black. It has a black label for Coke Zero. That means black people are nothing to Coca-Cola.
Exactly.
We're talking about who you think working in the factories down there in Atlanta?
Black people.
Hey, do you think they'll let you get away with putting OJ Did It on there?
How about just put OJ Simpson? I don't even put OJ did it. I just want OJ Simpson. Because there you're saying OJ did it. So they should allow that on. Now, what if I put OJ didn't do it? Or how about or you put OJ was right? Or you put WWOJ D. What will OJ do?
Or you put free OJ.
Free OJ, yep.
Or you put the juice is loose. This isn't the first time that someone's like, remember Apple? They went ahead and like tested it out and all these things that Siri would say or look up and the things she wouldn't. That's all basically like one programmer in there. I'm not going to blame a whole corporation on one programmer or somebody who probably is racist. Who knows? He probably is living in that one town in Georgia. They never that maybe it's from that island in Georgia that Jim Brown was from.
You know what the funny thing is? Remember in Google they used to put and they changed this I guess algorithm. They put in you used to put in beautiful black moms and porn would show up. You put in beautiful white moms and it was just regular women in dresses working or doing housework around the house. It
sounded like Google knew exactly what I was looking for when I put in beautiful black moms. I wasn't trying to get a picture of Viola Davis and Eartha, my girl from the mom from Good Times, or the mom from Family Matters. I was trying to get Jada Fire and Dominique Simone.
Shout out Jada Fire.
Heather Hunter. And Heather Hunter. That's what I was looking for when I put in beautiful black moms. I was looking for Heather Hunter.
Shout out Jada Fire sponsorship. She went to school with me all 6 years. Our high school year.
Exactly. What the hell she gonna sponsor? She gonna sponsor a pack of Now Laters from the 54th Street liquor store?
No, she got some real money now. She's one of the top paid used to be one of the top. I think it's used to be. It's used to be. It's a big used to be on there. Whatever font and whatever size that you can go up the highest on Word under used to be, do it. Click on it.
More dignified would be at one point in time.
Yeah, you should have said that at one point in time. Not
you know what was funny about
far that? Used to be.
Everybody that used to ask me about it, and I didn't even know until I didn't know some went to high school with it until some of Aaron's friends.
I put it on my friends.
It was some of your homeboys that brought it up. Hey, did you know this girl? Since you went to, they brought up her profile.
You sure is my friends? Because I don't hang around too many people that was looking at Jada Fire.
I'm not gonna say no names.
I only know one. It's only one person I know that would probably ask about Jada Fire.
But somebody asked me about it, and then
I want to hear names. Let's say their wife's name.
Me went to school. Come on.
The Supreme Court unanimously ruled against the NCAA. Traditionally conservative justices, stating that they were breaking antitrust laws by not allowing colleges or universities to pursue athletes with educational-based benefits. What do you guys think about that?
Okay, so now that they're making, I guess, money or going after talent with money legal?
They're not making money yet. No, the only thing they ruled legal was they opened it up for stipends and money based on education related costs. So now basically, because before you weren't able to buy the students computers or anything like that, or they couldn't pay for tutors. They could use the free tutors that are student tutors, but they couldn't go out and hire high-end tutors to help them with things like that. You couldn't pay for that. So now what this ruling did is basically said the athletes will receive educated, more related payment money. The NCAA is reminding me of, this is what it must, it's giving me the feeling that this is what it used to be like for slave owners once the emancipation went through. And they were just fighting it to the end, right? You just fight it to the end. Even though everything in the world's moving without you, the world's moving ahead. and you're just still behind and still trying to stay in your old ways and trying to keep this good old network going and not pay your athletes. It's slowly coming to an end. And I think it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse because they didn't, instead of them going out and fighting for and fighting and working with, instead of going out and working with, like, okay, let's ease our way into this compensation. Let's figure out how we're going to do it. They're getting told what to do by Supreme Court, and they're losing cases left and right.
So yeah, one thing I found interesting was Kavanaugh. I like beer. Kavanaugh stated that NCAA couches its arguments for not paying student athletes in innocuous labels, but the labels cannot disguise the reality. The NCAA's business model would be flatly illegal in almost any other industry in America. So, here's Dave. Dave, you want to say hi to the podcast?
Hey, podcast. What's up, podcast? Hey, that's really full. Hi, podcast. Gotta run.
You guys got any questions for Dave, real quick?
He just said gotta run.
No. He can answer a question. You guys got a question you want to ask him?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what size canoe will fit on a Toyota Prius.
Oh, absolutely a 23-footer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would a Toyota Prius lose gas mileage holding a 23-footer?
No, it'll increase it. So, yeah, you take the canoe and you put it right side up, okay? And then make certain you're going straight towards the river. And put some flotation devices in there, and you'll just float.
Hey, Dave, did Jared ever tell you that he had to call me because he had a flat tire and he didn't know how to fix it the other day? He had to call me to pick him up on his bike.
I don't believe
it. No. Dave, I had to pick him up during this time. I'm not lying, Dave. During this COVID time, I had to pick up Jared with a flat tire.
And did you make him double mask?
I should have made him ride in the back seat with his bike because didn't you said everybody should learn how to change a tire?
I think we did talk about that, huh, Jared? Didn't we? Probably. Yeah, we did. Did you take that inner tube and strap him down with it?
I should have made him use that ride around a seatbelt because he didn't change that tire, Dave. He didn't fix his flat. He didn't fix his flat.
Okay, all right. There's something. Okay, we have to fix that. Jarrett needs to be fixed now.
Yeah.
The tire was shredded, bro.
Take Jarrett down to get fixed.
I ran over a full patch of glass, and the tire was shredded. There's no riding on that bad boy that night.
Well, Thank you for picking up poor Jarrett, and we'll have to get him learning how to fix it.
You guys want to ask Dave if he wants to teach you guys how to pack a bag and load a kayak?
Okay, wait, Dave. They were talking bad about you. They was talking bad about you.
I hear that. He's starting to get really nasty right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave all it going good. Hey,
no
have
problem,
a great
Dave.
time in the pod world.
Yeah.
Aaron, who else is on there?
Pedro
and Aaron. Cheers,
Dave. Cheers, Dave.
Miss you, Dave, already.
All right, Dave.
It was a good time today, Aaron. You should have came along.
Oh man, next time I'll be there.
Well, next time, Dave, we'll do it again.
Hey, so it's funny. This is the ironic thing about NCAA. Brett Kavanaugh voting on that. I guess he's making up for with that truck driver. He's famously known for allowing a big corporation to, I guess the truck driver sued the company. And I want to say it was Celadon. I can't remember, but the big corporation got sued by this black truck driver who they left out in the frozen, and they told him not to leave the cargo or whatever, but his truck it was inoperable. It wasn't working. And he went out and moved the truck, I guess, against regulated law or whatever. And he actually sued him. And Brett Kavanaugh, they appealed it to not the Supreme Court, but they took it to a court. And Brett Kavanaugh was the judge standing out on that appeal court. And he overturned it and ended up rewarding the company. And the driver they had fired the driver. He lost his job and everything. So It's funny that he roots for the NCAA, but he doesn't root for black people. I mean, he rooted
for black athletes.
He rooted for black athletes.
Let's face it. This
worth more.
This rule wasn't for the lacrosse team at the women's lacrosse team at Princeton or the men's tennis team at UCLA.
It was a makeup, I think, to clear his name after all that, because his name got stained in that whole incident. So he went the other way.
I think it's tight, though. I think it's tight that we got these conservative justices really going full reopen. I think they're like, we need to stimulate the economy. We need everything to be paid. Everything's about business and proper pay now. Get that money out there. But it does surprise me. It does surprise me a little bit. It is definitely a pro-labor decision.
Well, I think it's this. The NCAA, Calvin said the NCAA, what he said, it just basically looks like the NCAA is a dead organization, right? And this is the thing you got to understand. Is the NCAA just refuses to grow. It likes how it's going. It's making money. And don't forget, the NCAA isn't college sports. It's an organization that was basically hired to help govern college sports. Because before the NCAA was around, that we still had college sports. We had football. We had college basketball. And then that's when you had crazy shit like Alabama declaring themselves national champions back in the day with 2 losses over USC being undefeated, right? And you just had crazy shit like that. So the NCAA came in as kind of an organization to kind of group it all under one. But it's on its way. NCAA is just like you either change or you die. I mean, it's like it's business things, right? You either change or you're no longer around. Kmart. Is Kmart still around?
Kmart, I think still they got the special K, Circle K.
Barely. That's not Kmart. Circle K is not Kmart, Jared.
Is the NCAA the next Blockbuster?
Yes, Blockbuster. It is, because you know what? Blockbuster had a chance. See, here's the thing: you gotta seize that moment when you have a chance to say, you know what? We're not gonna exist how we used to exist, but we can't exist, and we can't still make money. We can't still be part of that, right? I mean, Blockbuster had a chance to buy Netflix. For a cheap ass price. And Blockbuster said no. They're like, your idea is crazy. You'll be out of business soon. And look, Netflix put Blockbuster out of business. Toys R Us, one of those places that didn't change.
Yeah, it was crazy. Blockbuster had a chance. It was the dude that gave the keys to run Blockbuster's PR and stuff was the dude who made Taco Bell and the Gordita popular. So,
come on, man. Everything links back to Taco Bell.
You want to talk about business nepotism. So my other question, I guess, is what should still fall under, or what do you think should be, because this is going to push the NCAA to basically legalizing what benefits are educational-based benefits. My question is, what benefits do you think based upon the culture and history of the NCAA and its underbelly of benefits being given that are some educational or some non-educational based, which ones from this tradition should still be or should be grandfathered in to be allowed as a educational based benefit?
Man, you made that question harder than I think it had to be, Jared.
Exactly.
I don't know what the hell you talking about.
Man,
right
you
now.
Talking to a damn truck driver on here that can't remember nothing from yesterday, and you sit up there talking about educational based programs and shit. I don't know anything about no education.
I just tell you this. I would tell you this, Jared, to semi-answer that question that went in a circle and didn't make a lot of sense. Because talking about what are they going to grandfather in? They didn't have. If they going to grandfather in, they go grandfather in not paying people. That's their grandfather in. I tell you what, those recruits who signed with John Calipari at Kentucky are going to have the best gaming computers that money could buy. You ain't going to be able to beat them in Call of Duty.
What about, can you get you buy my mama a house, that counts like an educational benefit because you get to go to that home and study if you need to.
No, but you get to study abroad. You might have a whole basketball team studying, or half a football team studying abroad in Ibiza or Brazil.
Are we sure of that? Did we read
study abroad was one of the things that it was listed under, like study abroad opportunities, which they wouldn't be able to do anyway because they practice
every off season. I'm like, I'm going out of the country.
Yeah, I was gonna say they really can't because they have too much practice to study abroad, and there are too many rules around it.
What about the groupies, the ones that give you a tour of the school and show you a good time?
They're not groupies. They're not groupies. They got different names at different places, and they provide different. Some of them just provide tours. Some of them flirt. Some of them provide a little bit more. Some of them handhold. Some of them go a little. I knew one woman that did it, and she was the most nicest person in the world. She got like free books to do it, and she never went far with an athlete, but she was gorgeous. Oh my God. I tried to go out with her, but that all got ruined. Another story for another day. But she wasn't one to provide anything else. She just gave them tours and just, her job is to be there and be pretty. What's the coach that got in trouble recently? It was Les Miles, because he was like, I got to approve of these. Some of these, we need good looking ones. I got to approve of them to get these recruits here. I mean, I was pretty upset that he got fired because that's how they all think. He's just stupid enough to say it to the wrong person.
Like, so groupie, the hostesses, they don't count. Are those perks still grandfathered in though? That's
not really a perk. That's just the university has a host program to get recruits.
Well, they invest in it to make sure they get like a bunch of IG models that are like taking a class at their school?
That's already plenty of people there's plenty of wannabe IG models at every campus now, Jarrett. They don't have to go out and buy. You have to go out and buy more.
The Harlem Globetrotters wrote an open letter to Adam Silver in the NBA asking to be turned into and recognized as an NBA franchise. What are you guys doing on that?
Can you move to Seattle?
I think it would have been better. Their letter would have been more received if they wrote it to the North Pole. How the hell? Look, I'm all for what the Harlem Globetrotters meant for entertainment purposes for all the years. But how the hell are they gonna sit there and say we should become an NBA franchise? And anybody that's on the Harlem Globetrotters now think they'll be on the roster if they become an NBA franchise? Hell no.
Well, they got that one dude who can dunk.
They all can dunk.
They all can shoot.
They all can shoot.
They can't play at a high level like that. You start running them up and down the court and have them bumping people. Them shots ain't gonna hit.
No matter how weak. Who was the weakest team in the league, Pedro?
The Houston Rockets.
Yeah, and they still better than the Generals. They still better than the Generals.
And they'll be challenged, and they won't get such easy wins all the time.
Here's the thing. Where are you going to put them? In Harlem? You can't call them the Harlem Globetrotters. You're going to put them in Harlem?
It says Seattle, Seattle Globetrotters.
Man, no. If a team go to Seattle, they're going to be called the Supersonics.
They could find a niche. They could be competitive.
Yeah, they got a niche. Right now. You go around, you play for a bunch of 5 and 6 year olds and a bunch of parents who can't afford to go to an NBA game, and you entertain them for 2.5 hours and since we know, look, the Harlem Globetrotters, we talk about things that have businesses that have closed down in the last years. They're on their way to become the next Barnum and Bailey. Right? The only thing missing is an elephant coming across the court and people throwing peanut shells around, right? And a trapeze artist. They're on their way of being the circus. This is their last stat. I got to give them credit. This is their moment they're capturing, unlike the NCAA and Blockbuster. They're like, hey, man, this shit ain't working no more. Like, we a few years away from performing at high school champs, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, they bring professional basketball to cities that don't have professional sports teams at all. We bring in professional basketball to Des Moines, Iowa.
The problem is, and even in Des Moines, Iowa, Fort Wayne, and all these places, I think they rather watch basketball on TV.
Or college sports or college basketball.
I'm fine.
If they were smart, they would start playing. They would start doing games against other like pro, semi-pro teams other than Generals to like show like, yeah, we'll start playing a competitive schedule, and then they can start getting some of these guys, with that one and done college rule bullshit. Like, start taking some of these young guys who don't want to go play college for a year and let them travel the world. They want, I want to travel the world to play, professional basketball. They can play for the Globetrotters for a year, and then that way they'd be like, we have some NBA talent in here.
Guess what, Jarrett? Guess what the Harlem Globetrotters are? They are pro. Those are amateurs trying to make it to the pros. That's basically what they are. That's who they are. They're pro basketball players that are trying to, didn't make the dream. So they had to become a guy holding a bucket of confetti.
Yeah. Well, don't forget in the beginning, the Harlem Globetrotters played like a real team. And then they realized they played like the NBA All-Stars, and they played teams like that.
Yeah.
They had real NBA players. But then they realized, oh, man, we can make more money being a circus. And it's a circus, man. You know what? I'm not one of these people that feel like the NBA should do it. It's the right thing to do. I don't feel that way.
No, that's not. They like Aaron said, they're a sideshow. That's all it is. You can go somewhere with that jive.
I agree. I think that they need to. I think it would be tight if they were recognized as an NBA team, like obviously not like to play, like at least right now, but like say they were to, you know what I'm saying, like get you know what I'm saying, like a legacy in where they're like an honorary team, like one of the teams that isn't around anymore, and they recognize them in their Hall of Fame, and yeah, give them just that notation because they were influential for the integration of basketball, and they beat the Lakers or who? They beat the defending champions on 2 different occasions, the NBA champions, which proved like, you know, the black team was as good, if not better, than. I
thought it was the Celtics. It might have been the Minneapolis Lakers.
It might have been Minneapolis Lakers or something like that. They beat one of the teams that was the defending NBA champion. They played 3 times or something like that, but they beat them a couple times after they had won the title, and it was just one of those things where it proved like before you could say you had the best talent in the NBA. Literally want to legitimize themselves as having.
Yeah, that's what Aaron said. That's how they made their name off of having pro basketball players, but now it's just it turned itself
that's part
into a sideshow.
Yeah, well, part of the argument is like the NBA has like kind of picked their talent and like, you know, it's taken the talent that they would have had, and so, you know, in that way they can't compete.
Did they take the talent, or did the talent choose to not play with the Harlem Globetrotters? I think it's the other way around.
Hey, you know, everyone's like can't get right in life. You know what I'm saying? They want you know, if you can get
I don't
out,
think the NBA took their talent. I think the talent chose not to be with Harlem.
NBA stole their talent from them. It's the same with the Negro Leagues. Like all those guys got, you know,
well, they moved up. They wanted to play in the major leagues. That wasn't that their talent got stolen. They wanted to play in the major leagues, right? Because of the money. It's the money there.
I guess the money.
It's the money. Let's be real.
That is better. The major leagues is better somehow, though. Or like, you know, these Negro leagues. Because the money's there. They have better
facilities. They have money.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's also some poor white trash like Abraham Lincoln. Well, shout out to the Harlem Globetrotters. Sponsorship. Come on our show. We'd love to help start a Harlem Globetrotters should be an NBA team movement here.
No, I ain't starting that. Don't touch my name on that shit. They shouldn't be no NBA team. Okay, look, if the NBA want to throw them a bone, what is it? Is it just going to be a name alone? Because you got to buy a franchise to get in. They don't have the money to buy a franchise. So you want the NBA just to say, okay, we'll make you an NBA team, because no one's on the team right now is going to be in the league. Let's be real. No one's running the team. It's going to be allowed to run the team. It's going to have an ownership. It's going to have this. So let's say, what do you want? Do we want them to, hey, can you make us a franchise? If they do that, they're going to have to approve of who's owner and who's this and that. They're not going to just let them in. They're not going to let them be in Harlem. They're going to choose what city they're in too.
What if they made them like a G League team, affiliate team, and they let them be a G League affiliate, and then in the future, you know what I'm saying, if they decide to expand, and they can, you know, consider bringing them up, making them, if they decided to expand. I don't know if the league will expand anytime. If it's up to Aaron, this team would contract. I know that, but
yes,
if they ever decide to expand, then like, hey, you know what? We can make Harlem Globetrotters, because then they could still do their exhibition games and travel and do that thing and still do that. But then during the regular season, they can also have a G League team that has NBA talent on it.
That's fine with me. That's better. But I don't think that's going to lead to you becoming a. But then you're going to lose the distinguish of being the Harlem Globetrotters. I mean, how many people do you know? Only person I know that will go watch a G League game is Josh Aguilar, J-Ax. That's the only person I know that will watch a G League game.
Well, no, so they can have the G League. They can have 2 squads. They have the squad that plays the G League games, and some of their stars from the team can play on that. But then they have young talent on there, rookies and other people who are trying to make it to the league. And then they could have their traveling team, which does their traditional shows where they're goofing around and doing their thing. And in the non-G League season, they could, you know, travel and take those younger players that are still on their roster around them. I don't know. They can find a way. We got to get them part of the NBA, man. Recognition.
No, I mean, we could put them in the Hall of Fame. Like the Negro Leagues is an equal part of the Hall of Fame in the Major League Baseball. And then baseball did a great thing by saying the Negro League stats matter.
I think aren't the Harlem Globetrotters in the Hall of Fame?
I believe so.
I think so.
I mean,
they're probably already in the Basketball Hall of Fame. All right, you ready?
Sure,
Hold on.
I think I'm in the Basketball Hall of Fame for what the stuff I did at 74th Street School.
on the 8-foot rims.
8-foot rim. It ain't hard to do.
It's time. We're burning now. God, if you let it in, hell. So cold and bleeding now. I'm in for this, man. Gonna let you down. He had sex with my mama. We're broken people now. I just said I need a
All right, pal. Do you have a Cutty Corner shout out?
To the Brooklyn Nets and Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Blake Griffin, the three most millennial, solipsistic, social media narcissists in the NBA, and they all tried to rally together to essentially take down Steph Curry's throne and fame and dim his light. They've all had their various attempts at dimming his light, from joining with him to playing and getting beaten by him, and they could not do it. And Kevin Durant airballed the game-winning shot despite having crazy accolades, and it just tickled me. And I was so happy to see that an NBA team that just assembled 4 all-stars with no bench, with no chemistry, all fell short, because you can't just buy greatness. You got to build it. You got to have the pieces. You got to have the foundation. You got to have Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala. That's how you build a championship team. You don't sign Kyrie Irving and Blake Griffin and Kevin Durant. And shout out to KD. You will never get a ring without Steph.
Aaron, do you have Cutty Corner shout out?
Yeah, I like to give a positive Cutty Corner shout out for the state of Florida. I know you're going through some things. Please heal hope alive for people who are, maybe we'll get a couple more survivors out of that condo. Sorry to hear about that. That's not what my positive for the whole state of Florida. But as a state in whole, today is probably a better day. One of the creator of Cops, John Langley, died today. And during a race in Mexico, he was doing a 250 off-road race in San Felipe, and he had a heart attack or something. So this is the second co-creator of Cops that have died, and I'm sure this is great for Florida. This is great. Your tourist board can now put forth and try to get the shit off the air so people can start coming to Florida a little more. The worst thing that ever happened to Florida was the creation of the show Cops, right? I remember when here's the crazy thing. This is the second Cops creator that died, one of the co-creators that died. The other one died like 8 years ago in Oregon when he was on his honeymoon. He was taking a picture and moved too close to the edge and fell off. And I remember someone wrote Jim Rome show, and it was a letter, and it said, "Dear Jim Rome, we heard the Florida, one of the co-creators of Florida died. Good riddance. Sincerely, the Florida Tourist Board." This is another situation. We're in that situation. The Florida Tourist Board can rejoice that another creator of Cops have died, so they can stop putting on everybody sitting around, walking around with the white beater in the state of Florida and just making Florida look even stupider than it really is.
Do you have Cutty Corner shout out?
Yes, yes, I do. My Cutty Corner shout out goes to meeting people. In particular, I've had 2 things happen to me these couple of weeks where I actually met a good person and a white, what do they call a Kevin? I met a Kevin and a good old fashioned country dude. It was just an honest, good heart. He had a good heart. He was a good person. helped me out of a situation where I got stuck in the middle of the intersection. But with me saying that, it's just meeting people. My cutty corner shout out goes to meeting people. As this man helped me get out of a sticky situation, I tried to pay him and he didn't want to take the money. I was like, hey man, take this money because you're a hard worker and yada, yada, yada. You helped me get out of this situation. And he was like, no, I don't need to take that. And he like refused to take the money. Whatever I did, I was trying to give him money. Then I had to get out the way. I ended up getting out of the intersection, got out the way or whatever. And he made sure he darted off so I wouldn't offer him any more money. I was looking for him. The second guy, I met a Kevin, a colleague of mine that works at this current company I'm leased on to. So a brand new Karen. Instead of just saying, hey, okay, this is how you do one thing, this is how you do that, you should be good to go. No, she wanted to quiz me. Like, okay, how much do you know? What do you know? Do you know how much you get paid? Are you willing to do that? First of all, this is not a company. It's not a company anymore. We don't count each other's money, or we're not trying to figure out what people make. So he was under the impression that I was getting all the good loads because I'm new to the company, or leased onto the company. I am a business owner. You are a business owner. You have the option now to move your truck anywhere you want to go if they're not treating you right. You know why? Because you own that truck. Please don't come up to me and try to count and see what I'm doing at the beginning or just coming on. I appreciate the help that you gave me, to figure out some of the apps or whatever that we got, and everything's computerized. And I want to give another mid-cutty corner shout out to the company I'm leased on to for not explaining everything to me. And I gotta learn it myself. They give you a computer and don't tell you how to use the computer 100%. But to the Kevin that's in my business while I'm running a business, this is why I hate meeting new people. I want to be a type of person that's friendly and stay out of everybody's way. And you should want to do the same. Just came up to me talking bad about another driver doing what he does. Hey, that's his business. If he wants to pull a bad chassis or whatever, and he's talking about, no, man, you messing up the contracts for the rest of us. You know what you can do? Since you've been working for the company, you can get your own authority and pull your own contract. That's exactly what I'm planning on doing after a year, and maybe not even a year. But that's the thing. If you're sitting somewhere and you're blaming your equipment or you're blaming new people that come on about how much money you make, that's a you problem. And you're still unemployed. You're not a contractor. You're an employee. You want to be treated like an employee, bitch.
Oh, my cutty corner shout out goes out to Clout Chasers. This week, the Tour de France was happening. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but somebody was holding a sign at the beginning stages of one of the races yesterday. And they were standing, they let the fans stand real close to the sides. And, they were like those bike races, people are so close. And somebody's standing out on the road because they knew the bike with the camera on it was riding past them. So they try to lean out and get their sign and make sure it was red. It's a cheap ass piece of cardboard, like probably almost 6 feet long, maybe about 1.5 feet wide or tall. So they're holding it extended out in the middle of the goddamn road. And they basically cause a cyclist to run into them. One of the leading cyclists runs into them, hits their arm, not just a sign, hits their whole goddamn arm because they're extending out with their arm to hold it, and falls and proceeds to create a pileup that stops at least half of the racers. Once everyone has fallen and the pileup jams up and the log jams up, stops half the racers from continuing the race. And it's basically just a massive accident. People got injured, people broke bikes and equipment. And before the race could really even get started, some dumbass clout chasing motherfucker, fucked up the whole race. Now, I get it. If that sign says something, that I politically agree with, then it's okay. And those racers need to get over it. But if that sign had nothing to do with anything politically that I agree with, you are a dumb motherfucker. and you need to take your ass on. What the fuck are you thinking? Get the fuck out of the way. Don't block up the race, okay? Because I really care about my cycling. I'm a big cycling fan now that quarantine has got me back into riding my bike around the town. So now, like, I'm a cycling snob and don't fuck with people who are trying to ride safely on the road. Get the fuck out of the way.
You know the worst part, those damn Tour de France people ain't got no meat on their body, man. That little tumble hurt the hell out of all of them.
Well, the worst is when you fall and then the person falls on top of you and then people start punching into the back of them.
It was a true domino effect. That guy was an idiot.
I think it was a woman.
Oh, it was a woman?
I looked kind of like a woman.
I couldn't tell.
My second Cutty Corner shout out goes out to Dave for causing me to basically, one thing, actually goes out to myself. Aaron, you're right. I should have known Dave was going to take at least an hour and a half to pack and be ready and get ready.
Jared, do you not remember? Remember, he got back to the place before we did, and then we got stuck in the mud. Remember, he left. He beat us by a long shot getting back to his car with the kayaks. And me and you got stuck. Remember, we took a long time because we were in a double, and it took us forever. And then we were also playing around with all those seals out there. Remember, we got surrounded by those like 50 seals, and they were like playing around, being playful, swimming with us. And then I showered at the place where we had to return our wetsuits. And Dave still took an hour after that, after we got back to his car.
I should have known. I should have known. Yeah. So my second Cutty Corner shout out goes out to myself for having some kind of expectation that Dave was going to be ready and wouldn't cause. Even though we've tied canoes to his, he has a rack with a little canoe setting on it from the fit canoe where he has plenty of straps. I got plenty of straps. Even though we've tied canoes down to his truck or my car, okay, dozens of times now. The fact that it's still, no matter what Dave, I should have known it was going to take at least an hour and a half to 2 hours. And it ended up taking us well over 2.5 hours to get both canoes tied, strapped down and ready to leave Vallejo. So anyways, also bike race and rodeo, September 26th in Vallejo, California. If you are interested, holler at your boy or look up Bike Vallejo. There's a kids bike rodeo. It should be a lot of fun. Informational, teach kids how to ride bikes, get bike serviced on. And there's an adult race, all sponsored by the Mare Island Brewing Company. Shout out, sponsorship. So make sure you put on your calendar, September 26th, the Vallejo Bike Race and Rodeo.
Hey, was the one that didn't want to take money? Was he a white guy?
White guy, big white guy.
Then
nice country guy.
Maybe it was Jesus.
He had beautiful blonde hair.
He might have been Jesus, dude.
I can't imagine Jesus being almost 300 pounds though.
Jesus came back down to earth. I can imagine that this day Jesus came back to earth and discovered Jamba Juice. and they make it seem like it's healthy, but it ain't healthy.
Look, Jesus, we
discovered the Filet-O-Fish.
Maybe they had to make rib. He came back and McRib was in season.
Everybody knows.
That would be a good question. Well, what would Jesus get hooked to if he came back like today?
Starbucks.
Or in the 80s or 90s.
Starbucks. Jesus would be hooked on Starbucks and OnlyFans.
No. Jesus would be hooked on Starbucks and Fox News because it's fair and balanced. And TBN.
Come on, man.
We all know Jesus was a 6'3", 180-pound white man with blonde hair.
Not according to Family Guy. Family Guy, he was hella short. They're like, hey man, we were all short back in those days.
That's hilarious. Shout out to Jesus sponsorship. Come on our show. He comes on our show every time because he comes through all of us.
Yes.
No homo. All right, my Cutty Corner shout out.
Wait a minute, Jerry. You can't say no. I'm not gonna let you. You're not getting away with that. You repent right now in the name of white Jesus.
I need Jarrett. You making him repent? I want to be eating in at least 15 minutes.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't even know what he said, Pedro, because I was so hungry I lost focus.
You said Jesus comes through all of us, no homo. You're going to blast me.
That was blasphemous. That was blasphemous. And I came from a church with a bunch of gay guys singing on the choir, and that was blasphemous.
They didn't even want to have sex with Jesus. Now go ahead.
God damn. This has got bad. I hope no one in my family. I hope no one in my family hear this. I'm going straight to hell.
All right.